Hello students, how are you doing my friends? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you how to write an essay or a paper. But both essays and papers, they utilize research work in which you have to consult scholarly sources from the outside. And these sources can be academic journals, they can be the media sources, and they can be the government websites. Since they use reliable data, we can trust these scholarly sources. Now, let me tell you about the essay part, how to write an essay. Every essay has three components. Number one, introduction. Number two, discussion. Number three, conclusion. Now, starting with the first part, that is introduction. Introduction, when you write introduction, it must start with an attention grabber sentence. And what is the meaning of attention grabber sentence? It means that a sentence that grabs the attention of the audience. So how do you do that? You start with a statistical information, something that will alarm them, something that will really bring them to their attention. Or you can start with a nice quote, a popular quote related to your subject or the topic. So both these tactics, statistical information and the use of quotes, they grab the attention of an unknown audience. The first sentence, the attention grabber sentence of introduction is really very important. It just hooks up your audience with your essay. Thereafter, you just write pertinent sentences related to that topic. And finally, the last sentence of the introduction is called the thesis statement. It is actually the thesis statement that defines the objective and states explicitly the aim of your writing the essay. That means you have to mention the topic in a very succinct manner. For example, if you are writing on effect of overpopulation on poverty, then your thesis statement should be something like this. This essay highlights the factors that contribute to poverty because of overpopulation. Something like this, There can be numerous ways of writing a sentence. Then, my friends, you come to the second component of essay, and that is discussion. And what is discussion? In discussion, you write, you think about, first of all, very important, thinking. So you think about a couple of points or maybe more points depending on how long you have to write an essay. So if you write a one-page essay, you can pick up maybe 2 or 3 points that support your topic. So you think about those relevant ideas that support your topic or the factors, and then you enumerate and just write it very briefly because you don't have much space in a one page. So you list those factors that are responsible for happening of an event and which support the thesis statement and the topic. And then when you support the topic, you must support your idea with scholarly sources also. Very important, because your idea of course is original, but when you support it with scholarly content from outside, a published source, then it further corroborates, it reinforces, it strengthens your content. And then again, I would like to reiterate that something about the scholarly sources. Do not use Wikipedia, do not use any pedia sources, Wikipedia and oh god, I just cannot remember those ones, and there are blog posts which are not again scholarly, and sometimes some professors also may have their own websites, and for example Don Richards, just example, please excuse me if there is somebody by the name of Don Richards existing on planet Earth. and maybe a faculty, I apologize you. I do not mean to point it at you, but just giving an example, if there is a professor by the name of donriches.com, then we cannot, trust this source because it won't be a scholarly source. So the scholarly sources are the journals, the government websites, and the media sources like the Wall Street, Washington Post, and so on. Finally, we come to the third component of essay, and which is conclusion. Now the first sentence of conclusion is rewording of the thesis statement, but now written in a past tense because you have achieved the objective of your essay. So you will say, hence this paper has successfully discussed blah blah blah. What was the objective of your essay? Then in conclusion, in the remaining sentences, you will write briefly in a sentence each what you had discussed in discussion. So let's say the discussion discussed 3 factors. Here you will just write again in 3 sentences, preferably in past tense, the better. Just the same thing what you had discussed in the discussion part. So that's all about writing an essay. Again, I want to mention that essay must have 3 components: introduction, discussion, and conclusion. Cheers, my friends, and I wish you good luck in your studies.